Okay, so today we're going to be talking about 21 alternative ways to generate business. Who was at my class last time I did it last year?
Okay.
Good. So 21. I've added some. I've changed a few. I expanded on a little bit more, but it's a good class. Yes.
Forgot you're doing a class. Can I have that bucket, please?
The which?
I need the bucket.
Oh, yeah.
I'm using that.
Sorry, I'm on a mission.
Thank you. So, it's kind of what it says. It's 21 alternative ways to generate business. There is a caveat to that. You shouldn't be only doing these. You still should have a base. You still should have your solid principles of how you're doing business. A lot of people want to have alternative ways to do their business, and it can work, but there are tested and proven ways to generate business. These are ways you're going to add on or try different things. So, you could do all of them. I would do all of them. One or two. So my goal for you is to take away one or two ideas that you can implement, or at least open your mind to doing different ways to do it. So, how many ways are there to generate leads other than the 21? Any ideas? There's a lot. When agents get started, a lot of times they get hung up on doing the traditional ways of the big four: open houses, door knocking, networking, and cold calling.
I love that cold calling picture.
That's for some people. They do work. They are a great source of business, but it's not the be-all and end-all. It's not the only way to generate business. Some of these strategies that we're going to talk about can be implemented in conjunction with these and added on to it and help grow the business. But these aren't the only four ways. This is the way agents, when they get started, this is what they're told, do these four things, and that's how many companies. So we'll talk about some ideas and share some insights. So number one is community groups. So you can do that online. There's a lot of people that are having success with community Facebook groups. Do you guys know, it's Jeff Thibodeau from Brantford. He runs a We Love Brantford page. I just took this today. It's a screen capture. He has 4,200 people in his We Love Brantford page. He gets a ton of business from this. He's been doing this for about 3 years. Really in the last year, just effectively growing it. He's been spending a lot of time with it. His wife now helps him run it, and he's got it on autopilot. He spends about 10 minutes a day doing it. He branded it. We Love Brantford. It's not about Jeff. It's not about his business. It's not about real estate. It's about the community. And he gets a ton of traction on it. He gets a ton of hits from it. He's gotten a ton of publicity. It's very effective. Mike McDougall is a friend of mine from my old brokerage in Oshawa. He runs one called My North Oshawa by Mike McDougall. At the time, I'm sure he's got more. I have to update his photo. He's got over 1,000 people now. He has a farm of North Oshawa that he farms. He does community events, things that are going on in the neighborhood, and it's a great way for him to stay in contact and to build that community ambassador brand. Phenomenal ways to do it. Very inexpensive if you do it correctly, and it's a great way to get in front of your ideal audience. So does anyone do that, or has anyone tried anything like that? Or seen anything?
I've just recently started a Time Vega community page.
Good. So check out some of these, and there's a lot out there of people doing them. There's a lot of great suggestions. There's a lot of things you can do wrong, but there's a lot of great ideas of things you can do right. I'm not going to go into, I could teach a whole class on each one of these things, so I'm just going to kind of go over the top and talk about it. Niche mastermind groups or referral groups, again online, where a lot of them are. There's a lot of great ideas. Myself, I started this one, the FSBO think tank. You guys can see it. I had put out there in different real estate Facebook groups, and I was looking for people to share ideas on for sale by owners. So I had 80 people apply to be part of it, and I chose 20 people. So I basically had an application form and said how much business did you do, how much was it for sale by owners, what techniques do you use, blah, 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 and I had a big long thing. I had 80 people all want to be part of this. We boiled it down, and we had 20 people sharing awesome ideas, insights from all across North America. No one is concerned that we're going to steal each other's business because we're in completely different areas, and we just got really good. People were sending, here's the flyer I use, here's the script I use, here's the mail-out piece that I use. So, it's a fantastic way to grow your business, but it's also a fantastic way to network with other agents. So that was one way I did it. Danny Woods, a friend of mine, who's no longer with Keller, so I got to update that. He did a referral group. So it's Keller Williams referral for Ontario. So he was setting up, helping people connect referrals for Keller Williams agents across Ontario. So you could be doing referral groups. So if you know people who are referring them from different areas, it's a great way to connect it. And then he's the face of it, so now when people think of referrals, they think of him. Or there's other groups, Toronto Real Estate 2.0. There's a lot of Facebook groups out there that you can get involved in, connect with, and do a ton of business. Virginia Munden, do you guys know Virginia? Other than the crap of Legacy that just closed down yesterday. But I just interviewed her for my podcast. Last year, she did 32 or 36 deals from Facebook. Most of it was through agent-to-agent referrals. Because she's out there, she's making connections with people all across the world. And she's connecting with people and meeting that person. So she said it was $360,000 last year she made from connections on Facebook. So don't just think of consumer, business to consumer. Think of business to business. Think of those connections. Yeah.
There's a lot, I find online there's a lot of different kinds of people who try different kinds of things. So how do you know whether it's worth actually trying to go into that one or not? Like, is there anything you should look at or look for? Because I'm a member of so many different things now, and it's like...
That's one of the things. Don't spread yourself too thin.
Right.
Don't try too many things. Try out some things, test them and go deep with them. Don't try 10 different things. Try 1 or 2 things and do it really well. Again, this is not going to be your main source of business, so you're not going to spend 40 hours a week doing these things. So dedicate and spend 2 hours, 5 hours a week or whatever, focusing on these and do it. And test it, try it. Try things like I did with the For Sale by Owner group and get together with other people who have done these strategies and see if you can get like-minded people and have them all share ideas and best practices. Then you're going to weed out the crap that doesn't work and get people sharing ideas that do work. Make sense? Mm-hmm. So, the groups can be very effective. Again, networking groups, I'm part of one. I just got a referral yesterday from an agent from Alex Gerchen from London. He said, someone else said, who do you know that's looking in Burlington? I knew Alex through the groups, and he says you should talk to Ryan. So just agent-to-agent referrals is invaluable. So, things to do, websites or Facebook pages. I've done this successfully in the past. I haven't done it here because my approach has changed. But I had a blog, I'm sure people have heard, you've heard me speak. I had a blog called 52 Things to Do in Durham Region. When I was in Durham, I moved there, I didn't know anybody. I knew the girl I was dating, and that was it. So I thought, how am I going to get out and meet people? What's the best way to get out and get involved? What's the best way to find out what's going on? So I created a blog every week. I did something to do in Durham. So every week it was a post about rock climbing, hiking trails, restaurants, events, concerts, things like that. Every week I did something. That spawned into 4 deals for me in 1 year. And to me, it's well worth it. I spent about a half hour a week on my blog, and I worked out the math. It works out to be like $800 an hour for me to write that blog for the deals I got. So people say, oh, I don't have the time to write a blog. I don't have the time to write this post. 4 deals for half an hour a week. I'll find time. So it worked. I got in the newspaper, I got in the news, I got on TV, I got all kinds of publicity from it because I started this blog. It was awesome. For me, after I was about 6 months in, people were saying like, oh, I thought you lived here for like your whole life because you know everybody, you know all this stuff going on. And I literally was there for about 8 months. So it's a good way to get involved. So you could do that again. You could tie that back into a community type thing. What's going on in the community? Something on a weekly basis. For me, it worked. There's a guy in Etobicoke. He does 365 things to do in Etobicoke. Now his isn't every single day. He just put that as his name because people were doing it. But he does really neat, interesting things. And he's got advertising and marketing and stuff from other local businesses, and he has partners with those. So it's a good way to get out in the community. Number 4 is target out-of-town agents. There's a couple of approaches you can do with this. One is target out-of-town Williams agents and look for referrals that way. But another strategy which I tried, and I had some success with it. I didn't continue it. Probably should. When I was in Durham, I knew we had a lot of Toronto agents coming out and listing properties in our area. They would go wherever to take a listing, but they didn't want to take the buyers because it was not worth it for them to drive out and go show properties. So I went online. I went on our MLS and said, look through, and I looked for brokerages that have 416 area codes because that's not our area code. So I knew they were Toronto agents, and I made a list of agents who had listings with 416 area codes, and I sent them off an email and said, I noticed you have a listing on 1, 2, 3, Main Street. I know it can be tough coming out to see properties or showing properties. If you're interested, what I'd be happy to do is take the buyers for you and be happy to pay your referral. And there were, yeah, some people say, no, I live in the area, my brokerage is there, or no, I'm going to take them myself, or whatever. But it was a very simple approach. You can do that on a weekly basis, a monthly basis, and just go through the listings and see what agents are out of town and approach them and make connections that way. There's agents who built whole businesses just on doing that. Right now, literally this morning, I got a referral for a friend of mine who's listing something in Port Credit and said, I don't want to take the buyers, do you want to take them? I said, sure. So, out-of-town agents can be very profitable if you do it right. Any questions so far? Okay. Create a free course or an ebook. Has anyone ever done this? Anyone ever read an ebook? Anyone taken an online course, training course? So why not create one? An ebook. I created for my own blog, for my niche agent blog. I have an ebook. It's how I got subscribers. I offered something of value. I created tips, ideas, strategies, things like that. Great one for real estate. If you have a community, if you have a niche, if you have a market that you're going after, create something that you want to know. You could create a 10 things to do in Burlington ebook and get people to download it. You could 10 things you should know about buying your next property ebook and have people sign up and get it. So there's a ton of value in creating that, and it's a good way to capture leads online or offline too. Courses, it's a little more advanced, but you could do a whole first-time buyer training course. You could do a first-time buyer training booklet for people, and they can request a copy of it, find out how to do it. We've got video equipment, so you can create a video training course, have it up on YouTube. A friend of mine, Jazz, just did one with a mortgage broker. He did an 18-part series on mortgages, and he interviewed a mortgage broker, and he just did 3-minute videos, 2 or 3-minute videos, walking them through the whole process. And now he's got an entire system for people if they're interested in getting a mortgage or buying a first-time home. He walks them through every step that they need to know. Make sense? You guys don't seem excited about it? All right.
So what's Jazz? So can we see them online?
Yeah.
It's better to get an idea.
Yep.
What's Jazz?
Jazz, Jag Paul. I have on Facebook. I can't remember his name. An email conglomerate. Who has preferred vendors that they work with? 2, 3, that's it? 4? We should all have preferred vendors. We should all have a list of people that we were working with. If you have lawyers, homestagers, contractors, electricians, whoever, work with them and create an email conglomerate. Why not have them advertise for you to their list, and you can advertise in return to their list? It's a very simple thing to do. You send out a list, an email. You say, this month I'm going to send out a PS script on all my emails from my mortgage broker. PS, if you're looking for a mortgage, Joe Blow has a special on mortgages this month. And then now you go to your mortgage broker and say, hey, you send out on your emails, PS, Ryan's offering a free training course or a free ebook on 10 things you should know before you buy your next home. And you have them put that on their email, and then you have your homestager do the whole same thing, or your photographer do the same thing, or anybody outside of real estate, any business that you're going to partner up with, have them get in front of their contacts, and then you can get their audience in front of theirs. You think that would be valuable? If someone was willing to do that, they've got 1,000 people, you've got 1,000 people, and now you can cross-promote. I'd do it, and they would do it too if you pitch it right, do it the right value. So now you're reaching a broader audience for absolutely no cost. Make sense? Meetup groups. Has anyone been on meetup.com? 1, 2, 3. Phenomenal. Meetup is an online group page. For those of you who don't know what it is, it's people start groups. So it could be moms groups, reading club, hiking club, spiritual clubs, business investing groups. The sky's the limit. There's a ton of them on there. What happens is people are coming to this area. That's how I got started. When I moved to Durham, I didn't know what to do, so I went on a Meetup. I got involved with an organization that I found on there and got connected. You find a lot of people going to meetups because they're brand new to the area or just want something to do in the area, and they're on Meetup looking for things to do. So there's 2 approaches. You can either create your own Meetup group for whatever. You could, here's an example, Oakville Moms Meetup Group. So if you wanted to connect with moms, you could create your own. or join the Hopeville Moms Meetup group and network. Business in Burlington. If you want to connect with business people, there's already a business group, or you can create your own business group. Online singles. It's a little, I'm not 33 yet, but I might be moving to that category. If you're single, you can mingle. Now just look here, within 100 miles of Burlington, with real estate specifically, there was like 60-something meetup groups, real estate specific. So you could go out and connect and meet with other people who are interested in real estate. See the value in that? So you could either create your groups or connect with other groups. And if you have niches or if you have interests that you're into, it's a great way to get in front of people and find out what's going on. Podcasts, video updates, and interviews. These are one of my favorites. I have my podcast, and I talk about it all the time. I interview agents. Kevin, who was here a couple weeks ago, he does his videos in his car for a minute or two videos, just talks about different things, what's going on in the marketplace. He gets a ton of traffic, he gets a ton of insights, he gets a lot of business from that. If you're going back to video updates and interviews, again, Jeff Thibodeau from the We Love Brantford does a monthly market update, just him talking about the market. It's 5 or 6 minutes long. He just does a video snippet of here's what's going on in the market. It's a very simple way to stay in contact with people and keep them informed of the market. And interviews. Interview people. If you like business to business, interview local businesses. Interview people that your preferred vendors. Right? Get a write-up report and say, here, I just interviewed my lawyer. He just said, here's 5 things you should know before you buy your next home. Some whatever. You could have different interviews with, or be interviewed as well. Blogs. Does anyone blog? I don't know what a blog is. Okay. So, there's a couple things you can do with blogs. If you're not comfortable starting your own blog, because it can be a lot of work in having it done properly, is become a guest blogger. There's a lot of people who are starved for content, and they'd be happy to have you as a real estate expert on their blog. So they may have a community blog, they may have an information blog for single moms, and you could be you could be the real estate person on their blog as a guest blog. It could be a one-time thing, just write an article about something. It could be a continual thing. But again, now you're getting in front of someone else's audience, and you're going to position yourself as the expert to their audience. You don't have to create the audience; they already have it. Or if you do start your own blog, if you don't have the content, get guest bloggers. Go to your preferred vendors, people you know in the community, and have them write for you. You should be blogging on your own as well and doing content, but there's a fantastic resource. If you're doing it, you have to be committed for blogging for the long term. It's not a short-term thing. A lot of people start a blog and they give up in a month because they don't have business from it. It's a long-term process, but it can be very profitable. This is Melanie. I forgot to say her last name. Pitch. She's in Toronto. She's got a Get Real Toronto blog. She does a ton of business from this. Now, she's very well connected on social media, but she writes really interesting blogs. She writes very relevant content, not just boring crap that everyone hears. And she gets a lot of feedback, positive and negative, but she's stirring the pot, and she's getting information, she's getting people engaged, and it's working well for her. Press releases. Has anyone ever done a press release? This is one of the most underutilized and most valuable pieces of resources that people could be doing. A press release, do you guys know what a press release is? Press release could be for anything. You just hired a new person, send out a press release. Some stuff that's going on in our office, you could do a press release. We just did Red Day. You could talk about what we're doing and have you as the spokesperson for the press release. It's a great way for news and media outlets to pick up on cool stories, and you can be the front person and have them showcase you. It's underutilized by a lot of people, and I'm going to talk quickly about some other strategy you can use along the same lines, but press releases are one of the most underutilized things. News companies are starving for content. In my hometown, a few years ago, I remember the front cover of our newspaper was, there was a beaver in downtown Niagara Falls, and that made the front cover of the newspaper. Like if that made the front cover of the newspaper, you can tell they're not content for news. So doing press releases, you can get published from doing some simple press releases. Help a reporter. He's not here, but when I taught this last time, I don't think he was with Keller Williams yet. He took this and ran with it, and he got featured on CBC. He knew someone that was at CBC, and he went to the reporter, it was a friend of his, and was talking about the real estate market, and he got featured and had a whole article written about him. It was peppered in there about the what's going on with the Hamilton real estate market. He shared some stats and got Canadian media coverage. He was on the website, on the TV, and I think it was in print as well. And he came back and said, "Thank you, oh my gosh, that was so awesome. I never would have thought to do that." He did that and got exposure. And all he did was connect with the reporter and said, "Here's some information that you might be interested in knowing the real estate market," and ended up on that media coverage. Free marketing. That's way better than an ad in the paper. And then now, from that, now he can go to his clients and say, "Look, that was the news, here's what I did." He said, I have people come approaching me saying, "Oh, you're an expert in investment properties." And he said, just from this, because they read it and he used some stats. So it's a good way to position yourself as an expert and get free exposure. Haro, if you guys haven't heard of it, it's Help a Reporter, helpareporter.com. Basically, they match, if you have stories, they have news reporters who say, "I'd like to get your story," and you say, "I've got a story," and you can match them up and you can connect that way. Or just go to news outlets and connect with news reporters who are working in that industry. So if it's someone who's talking, it could be the real estate person, it could be the community person, and just reach out to them and get a reporter. So again, that ties into the press releases. If you're doing the press releases, send it to the reporters and get some exposure. Become an author. This is one that I've done and done very well with. This is shocking to a lot of people. It is so easy to get published. Again, media outlets are starved for content. I approached a couple magazines, online and offline magazines. A few years ago, I've been writing for this magazine called Local Biz Magazine. They have a publication of 35,000 people in the Durham region goes directly to businesses. And I've been writing, comes out quarterly, and I've been writing the real estate articles for the last 2.5 years. All I did was say, "Hi, I'm a real estate agent. I notice you don't have anybody that's writing real estate articles. Would you be interested in having somebody write a real estate column for you?" "Sure, thanks." I get free space as the expert in the newspaper, in their magazine, and I get free advertising. And they said, "Oh, as a thank you, we're going to give you a free advertising spot as well." It's pretty good for an hour, 2 hours worth of work writing an article. Now I get it. And it looks good on the resume. I did it for another an online magazine. She was a bit crazy, I won't say the name, but it didn't go the way. I did it for about 6 months. She was happy to have it. People out there would be happy to have you. So if you know any media outlets, any magazines, any newsletters, anything like that, people are starving for content. So usually no cost. If you are interested in it, there's books that come out every year, the Writer's Market. It's if you really want to go with this, it's amazing. The Writer's Market basically it's like a 1,000-page publication that comes out. They have a Canadian one, it's like 500. It's basically every publication you can think of and every big toilets. People who like big toilets, and there's a whole magazine about people who like big toilets, whatever. Farmer's Almanac, whatever it is, or Tree Planter's Guide 2000. Every weird niche, every single article, every magazine you can think of that you would never see in the store that goes out there. My mom has one, Chickens. It's a magazine for chickens. They live in the country. Who would even know there's a chickens magazine? Now, if you knew stuff about chickens, you wanted to get written about chickens, you could approach them. So you can buy this. It's $20 or $30 if you're interested in becoming an author, and go through. There's thousands and thousands and thousands of publications out there that you could be writing for. So you could literally build a whole media empire writing for other media outlets. So you guys see the value in that? Professional talks. This is a very useful one if done correctly. Going in and speaking to other people's organizations can be very effective. Go to hospitals, works, schools, organizations, and do professional talks. I've done this talk very similar to this for a couple different organizations outside of real estate. They've asked me to go speak about this topic. I skewed it so it's not all real estate related. But you can now, again, get yourself in front of other professionals because they want good information. So if you can provide a really neat presentation, you can go in and speak at it and do well with it. Or do the opposite, is have speakers come in. Put together, if you got a group of people, if you have a database, you can bring in professional speakers, or not professionals, but not professional speakers, but you can have people who know about a certain topic. Mark does his monthly investing group and have people coming in. It's a great way to get in front of people. Speaking works. This one, if you take anything today, this is the most important one. It works. It works. It works. It works. It works. People hear me say it, and they never go and apply it. How to revive a dead lead. If you have an internet lead, this is the simplest and the most effective strategy I've ever seen. Dean Jackson came up with this. The email subject is their name, Joe, whatever. Are you still looking for a home in Burlington? That's it. Don't add anything else. Don't take away anything else. If they're looking for a home dollar shot or build whatever, click the tab. The psychology behind this, I'm not going to go too far into it, but it's left as an unopened or an unanswered question that people love mystery. They want to know what's going on. There's two reasons why this works. One is, are you still looking for a home in Burlington? And they'll say, why? Do you have something? Because they want to know, oh, you must have a good deal or something. The other reason it works is it's not a sales pitch. Because what happens is people say, are you still looking for a home in Durham or Burlington? Because I have the best listings, I have more access to the more homes, I got the best prices, and blah, blah, blah. And then it becomes a sales pitch and they turn it in. This works, and it works like a charm. You missed your guest spot. You were doing it.
Oh, was that? CBC?
Yeah.
There you are.
There he is.
So, this email works. What's one of the highest open rates and one of the highest response rates? Now what happens is people say, well, what happens if they write back and say no?
Good. Trying to revive them.
Right. You know, or what will happen is they'll say, yeah, maybe, I'm thinking about 6 months, and now you can re-engage with them, reconnect with them. I send this out, I try to send it out every quarter, every 3 or 4 months. And it's a great way to just clean up your list and reconnect with people and find out the motivation.
Sent it 16 today, I got 4 responses.
There you go. So, and I usually get, my open rate's about 40%. Or more than that, 60%, and I get about 20-25% of people who respond back and say yes, no, what's going on. So it does work. So do it. Go to your list, everything you've got, even if it's over 3 or 4 months old, send that out. And I guarantee you'll thank me because you're probably going to do it. So you can all pay me 10% from that. Free home evaluations for contractors or other people. Contractors works well. If you work, again, if you have a preferred vendor, a preferred partner you work with, contractor who does renovations, go to them and say, listen, I've got a service I'm going to offer you. Anytime you do a major renovation for a client, what I'll do is I'll come in and do a home evaluation for free, no cost, no obligation for them. I'm going to just tell them what their home's worth because now they've done some renovations. They just finished the basement off or they just put a brand new kitchen in, and I'm just going to do a quick market evaluation for them and give them an idea of what their home's worth. Because people do renovations and they want to know what their home's worth. Well, now you just established contact with someone who wasn't your client. You just positioned yourself as a professional, and you are now giving them a home evaluation. Now, they may not be interested in it, but now that contractor looks good because he offers this evaluation service after he does his renovation. Now, if he does crap work, or he may not want them to know what it's worth because it may not have added a lot of value, but it's a good position to get in front of new clients. So very valuable for both people, for the contractor and yourself. Contests. Has anyone done contests before? No. Can work very well. Especially if you farm a neighborhood. You could do a Christmas lights, holiday lights contest, best flower contest. There's a guy I knew, he did nicest garden on the street contest. He went out and spent like $5 or $10 for every street, for this little trophy. And it says, you have the nicest garden in the street. Went through each street. So it's like you win the best garden on Main Street, you win the best garden on Queen Street, and you just went and got these little trophies done. And every year he went through. And then it started this whole movement, and people were trying to win this award, and there was like $5 or $10 for each street. And he became known as this garden contest guy, and people just loved it. And go back to people that do these things, take care of their homes, are good clients. They're not guys who are letting their house go to crap. They take pride in their house. They take pride in what they do. They want to show off their gardens. They want to show off their house. So chances are they're going to be an ideal client. So why not target and get in front of those people? And again, it's a good way to get in front of the community. If you're doing a community newsletter or community website group, it's a great way to get exposure. You can leverage this I had some ideas, go to Home Depot, Lowe's, local hardware store and say, everybody that buys your Christmas lights from here gets 10% off for this contest if you come here. Now again, you're creating that connection with the local contractors and local businesses, and then you can create a whole conglomerate. Again, I can go into detail with that. Client housewarming parties. Has anyone done them?
Fantastic. Absolutely fantastic.
They work very well. If done correctly. They're they're not expensive, depending on how you do them. But the money you put into it, you get back in leaps and bounds. Great book to read. Michael Mayer, he's going to be a guest on my show, which I'm really excited about. He wrote the book called 7 Levels of Communication. It's all about how to generate referrals from clients, and that's one of his shticks. He does client appreciation parties, housewarming parties. He's got the entire system in there and how to do it. Here's what they send, here's how they do it, here's how much they spend. Phenomenal. And Michael, just to let you know, is the most referred agent in the world. He gets over 500 referrals a year. He's one of the top agents. He goes and speaks. Again, if you take anything, go get that book and learn how to do the client appreciation parties. It's phenomenal the business he gets. So, well worth it. He says it. Every time he does it, he gets, I think he said 2 to 3 leads every time he does a client appreciation party. So if he spends $400 or $500, you're getting 2 or 3 solid leads of people who now connected you as a referral. Is not an internet lead. It's a, here's my friend Sally, and she wants to buy a home, and she's connected with you. So very, very, very valuable. This one, a lot of people love this one. The new neighbor jumbo cards. I forget, a couple of people did it, and they came back and said the results were phenomenal, and they loved it. This works very well. I got this from Joe Stump. Basically, you can either buy them or you can make them. You can go get a Bristol board and create a big jumbo card. What you do is when you have a buyer moving into a neighborhood, you go around to the neighborhood, 20, 30 homes, 50 homes, and you talk to the neighbor and say, I'm Ryan Smith, I'm a real estate agent. My client just bought the home on 123 Main Street, and as a special gift, I wanted to get them introduction to everybody in the neighborhood. So what I've done is created a welcome card. So if I could just get you to sign your name here, just welcome to the neighborhood, give a little message to them, that'd be fantastic. Now, as a homeowner, you just got pitched without knowing you got pitched, because now you just got a real estate agent talking to you about real estate. Welcome to the neighborhood. It's phenomenal because you position yourself as not the person who's, hi, you think about buying or selling your home. Now they're like, wow, I've never seen this before. And the community thinks it's awesome. Now you've got to talk to all the people. The conversation you're going to have from doing that is going to be totally different than, hi, my neighbor just sold a house. Are you thinking about listing your home as well? Same time to be at the door. Same amount of energy to be there. For $5-10 more, you're going to get a totally different response. And then your client's going to love you pieces too. You get a big card. So you can do a lot with that too, but very, very valuable if you do it right.
Then you send a thank you card to every person that signs out.
Yeah. Now, especially if you farm a neighborhood, it's a great way to do it. Community flyer report. This is something I'm just applying into my farm that I just started. Very valuable if you do it right. You can do a ton of stuff you can do with it. Again, if you go business to business, you can get a lot of connections with businesses and have them put it up. The example I used was go to certain businesses and say, listen, I'd like to have my newsletter or flyer in your store. There's absolutely no cost to you. All I ask is that you just put this in your store, and we'll put a little ad in the magazine for you. I just want to keep it stocked. Let me know at any time if you have any questions, or if you run out, let me know. I can keep it stocked. Now, every month you're in contact with those local businesses, every single month, or however often you put it out, having a conversation on real estate, and for the cost of some flyers, $50, $100 a month. Now, I can tell you this, I guarantee 99% you won't do it, but it works. Coffee is one of the most underrated uses of generating business. Go out and have coffee. When I moved to Durham, that was one of the best advice, and it was the most humiliating because I had a friend of mine, not a friend, I was turning into a friend. I was on Facebook and I was trying to network and I was trying to get with all these businesses, and I was saying, hi, I'm Ryan, I'm a real estate agent, I'm just new to the area. If you need anything, let me know. And the guy said, Ryan, I appreciate the message. He said, but what you need to do is get off your ass and go meet people. He's like, stop hiding behind your computer and go meet people. And first I was this freaking idiot. He's insulting me. Then I took his advice, and it was the best thing I ever did. So I made a pact at least once a week to go out and have a coffee with someone. someone new that I didn't know. And I went online, I strategically found homestagers, lawyers, different people in the community, and that grew my connections in the community. And then every time I had a copy, I was like, who else, who should I know? I'm new to the area, who should I know? And they would be more than happy to say, oh, you should talk to so-and-so, oh, you should talk to so-and-so. The cost of $2 or $3 to have a coffee with someone, to sit down and have that chat is invaluable. So you can do it with clients, you can do it with businesses, but just spend time with people. Get out there. It's cheap. And finally, teach. For a number of reasons. One, doing this helps you hone your skills. You get better at doing presentations, meeting people. Going back to those speaking things I talked about earlier, it gets you in front of new people's connections. It gets you in front of, it positions you as an expert when you're teaching. So you could be going to community events, organizations, and doing presentations. Mike asked me to do this presentation at RBC. Now I've made connections with a bunch of people at RBC because of doing this presentation. So you'll be amazed at the doors that open when you give back and teach. Because it's invaluable. So if you have something, some skill you're good at, something you know, get out there and teach. So thanks for coming today. Hope you learned something useful. You guys learned something? Anything you can take away? I'll get at to share their biggest takeaway or something they're going to apply to business. Here in the front.
I like that big welcome card.
Cheap and easy to do.
Yeah.
Yourself?
I am going to, because it's a small town, I'm going to go get a few, because I can do that, a few things of Tim Hortons coffee, which the Tim Hortons is in town, and a couple of boxes of Timbits, and bring them into Sobeys to the put them in their lunchroom for all the employees.
Yep, that's good.
It's the only grocery store in town.
That's good. I mean, you can lock down something like that because then everyone goes there, and if you're connected with those people, you're perceived as the expert. It's good. Yourself?
Oh yeah, I definitely liked connecting with out-of-town agents, and also like doing contests within your own like database within your client base. With the people who generate more referrals for you, they have more chances to win something at the end of the year or whatever. Whenever you have that housewarming party or whatever, you tie those things in together. So I think that works well.
Maybe I should rejoin Facebook. My boycott's going to be 3 years next month. Don't make me go back.
There's other strategies you don't need Facebook for. So.
The Christmas light nights, like having some sort of competition in the farm area, that I think is kind of cool. To try to figure out what I can do within specific areas, something different.
Those remind me of the jumbo card, the connecting with out-of-town agents and the contests. Such good ideas.
Yourself?
I like the idea of looking for Hamilton, open-ended question. I think it will work very well. And also the book, 7 Levels of Communication, I might pick that up as well for ideas.
Might or you will?
Thank you. Oh, no, I will. So thank you.
He doesn't
I
know
want it
all of us,
down.
don't worry.
Okay.
You're going to try or you're going to?
I think the biggest thing for me is just think outside the box. There's so many other ways to do things than normal. You don't have to be stuck in that little area. There's a million ways of doing things. You just gotta
Don't go too far because you still got to have the basics. Yeah.
I'd provide dead leads and create a blog.
What's your book going to be?
Good books.
I like the things to do. Probably in Hamilton or Eatonville or wherever, small town. And revive that lead is good too. Keep up with people.
People that are going to do that, send me your results because I want to know. Because I do it and I know it works, but I want to hear how it works for you guys. And I want to know that you guys did a deal. I won't pay 10%. Unless you're probably going to go.
How do you know what your open rate is? You said you had like a 60% open rate.
I use MailChimp, so it has the open rate, so I can track all that.
I like the contest one and order you can right.
A couple of them have been said to book and the jumbo card, but I also really like the email conglomerate idea.
Who are you going to do it with?
My list of vendors.
Yourself?
I got a couple of good ones that I took away. Meetup.com, create a group, and help a reporter, as well as the email process to open-ended question.
Good. So you guys all took something away. So I trust in the next 3 months your business is going to grow at least by a deal. Yes.
I think the trick again is not to try and do everything,
Yes.
to just
Do
pick one or two.
do one or two things and do it well, and focus on those and get good at it.
21.
And you can do very well.
About 21 plus another 4.
All right. So thank you for being here. If you have any questions, let me know.
Thanks, Brandon.
Thank
Thank you.
Thanks, Brandon.